Hello, this is Burns. Welcome back to the second annual Memorial $10,000 tournament by UMG.
That was great. I'm so happy that just happened.
I gotta make it entertaining somehow.
Hello. This is Burns.
I'm basically like the president of the United States.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's like a presidential address.
What's up, stream? We are back. It's me and Landon over here. We're getting through this tournament. We are in round 4 of the second annual. I'm repeating this twice. I got too much pizza in my system.
Hey, no worries, man. We're good to go. We're all pizzaed up. Like I said, we're hopping into our next series. Like I said, E6 going up, or not E6. We got Team EnVyUs going up against Squadddd. Of course, our first look so far at the boys in blue in this tournament. Of course, Huke, Temp, Classic, and Slasher. I got to watch this lineup actually play last night in our 4v4 variant tournament, where they ended up finishing second behind, what was it, Gunjar's team in Royalty, Proto, and Exotic, those dudes. Unfortunately, ended up facing off and ended up losing that one, but still played well when it came down to most of their games. Search and Destroy being one of their preferred game modes. And it looks like a Classic, not being able to seek out the final player, will lose this round, so it will be a round on the board there toward the side of Yo.
What's your
Squadddd, actually?
What's your opinion on the new EnVyUs lineup?
Okay, so it's interesting to me because I don't blame them for making a roster change last year, right? Okay. Because I understand, like, as much as it pains me to say, like, a team who was winning and happened to win second at the Call of Duty World Championships splits apart, it's kind of like, why would you do that? But
yeah, for sure.
If you guys want to play with each other, like, obviously, like, don't, because it's not going to help anyone out until a certain tournament.
Yeah.
However, though, bringing in the guys that they did, I think Classic is a huge pickup for this team. I really like the idea of bringing Slasher and Classic back together. Of course, this entire team reforming back from the old Denial, back from MLG World Finals in 2015, where they placed second in that tournament, Dominant Gaming.
Yeah.
That really needs to be said. But regardless, really big fan of the pickup of Classic. I'm really curious to see how Temp and Huke play. Of course, Huke, major player in Advanced Warfare. Temp, of course, laterally playing in Infinite Warfare with Straight Rippin', along with Dashy and co. This roster entices me. Like, it's exciting to watch because I think this is a really solid group who can really slay out well. But I'm really curious to see when it comes down to communication, right? Because I don't think Classic's a really big vocal person. Huke isn't by any means either. And I think it's really going to be the fact of Slasher and Temp kind of going back and forth. And maybe it's a good idea to have Slasher kind of have his own team because when he's kind of battled with, Aches in the past, it's always been a discussion of, well, who is right, who is wrong. So while I'm a fan of this team, it does a little bit worry me, though, as far as how the roles work and as far as the communication is considered, because I think that's going to be key with this team when it comes into facing off against future higher-level pros and whatnot, higher pro-level rosters. But I just think the communication is one issue they're really going to lack until, an adjustment's made.
And I completely agree with you. I think the biggest, you have to remember, too, he became a Halo Pro overnight.
Oh, yeah.
It's been astonishing to see the progress that he's made, and we're just kind of living in an era of a, 18-year-old who's basically done it all by the time that he's gotten to his age. So he's only going to continue to grow and prosper. And I love Huke. He's by far the most humble human being I've ever met. And, he has a good heart, too, and that's super hard to find with someone as young as him. I do think, though, that Huke outclassed a lot of his opponents with his movement compared to his actual gun skill, which is on another level. But in terms of movement, you don't have those exit strategies. You don't have that extra bounce or the extra jump anymore. So I do feel like that is one factor that might come into play that we might see in the future with him. He's obviously going to perform well, but I'm not sure if he's going to be like the X factor where he's continually carrying the team that he's on because of everything that he could do with the jetpack or with the Halo. I could get proved wrong. I said, he's going to be a great player, but I just feel like, and by no means calling him a jetpacker at all. He is not a jetpacker. But I do think that his movement is tier 1 in those titles. And
for sure.
It's just a game. You can't move around like that in World War II. So.
Exactly. I think there's definitely a key component that's going to be left from his overall history when it came down to Call of Duty. Of course, played back in the day in Ghost as well, so he's used to that movement. It's not like, Advanced Warfare was like his one-and-done type of a title by any means. Him and Temp, of course, competing, and then, like I said, being under the age of 18, swapping over to Halo, playing for Team EnVyUs, most notably during that time. And like I said, happened overnight. This guy is just absolutely absurd to watch. And I think really, though, to kind of take a full-on reality check when it comes down to his, transition back to Call of Duty, I think it will be a testament because, of course, he goes from, jetpack Call of Duties where you're already up in the air. Halo not necessarily is the same way, but you still have the same type of gunfights. Of course,
sure.
Halo 5, very similar to that kind of movement style to kind of succeed when it comes into certain fights and whatnot. But, I mean, an FPS is an FPS. And, I mean, your shot doesn't necessarily totally change when it comes down to game because you're most likely going to succeed. But I got to say, I am a little bit worried for Huke for the most part because I think it is going to be a little bit of a transition over.
For sure.
But at least so far in the games that I've been able to witness, it really has been classic. And the Slasher have been playing well. Huke's been playing the objective, which I think is definitely a good thing to see. But I think this is one guy that you're going to be looking at maybe 2 or 3 months down the road and saying, that's the guy, that's the Huke that we know.
Yeah.
Glad to see that he's kind of finally came into his own because, of course, he's been playing Halo for the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
so
I don't
you're
think
thinking it's going to be a 2-3 month transition. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
I think it'll be a little bit of a time for him to kind of transition back. But still, I mean, this guy has obviously transitioned well before, so why not again?
Yep. I completely agree with that. I'm this other team, they're competing super well.
Yeah, this is a group who I've seen in a few times in Search and Destroy tournaments, of course. Onyx, SolidestWand, Zaptius, and PapiWrek. PapiWrek is known for playing with Simp, Turnup, and those guys. I think played for XOXO.
I remember now.
Yeah.
I thought his name looked a little familiar, but
Yeah.
I just wasn't too. I was like, did he change his name or something? So. Yeah, I've definitely heard of them.
Onyx and SolidestWand are known as like kind of being Search and Destroy players, at least toward the end. I think most notably, for my opinion, casting over them a little bit in Ghost and then heading into World War II. They've been kind of on that grind, trying to prepare for S&D and also for the boots on the ground action that we have here in World War II. So with that in mind, of course, looking on here, it is going to be round number 6 up, and it will be Zaptius currently trying to hold that bomb down for the squad, and also has a nice little, I think that, what is that? Is that going to be Diamond he has?
Okay.
Is that Diamond he has on that bar? Respect. Hey, full on respect for anyone who has Diamond camo on any gun. That's definitely been a grind. As Huke will receive the headshot, gets lifted off the ground, as it will be Zaptius now left in a 1 versus 3. Definitely a predicament here, Burns. As I got to ask really quick, of course, as it will be Zaptius who dropped. When you're in a 1 versus 3, 1 versus 4 scenario, like he was in that particular stance, is there a particular thing that you're looking for to kind of overcome that? Because I feel like in a 1 versus 3, 1 versus 3, you have to
break.
a lucky break, because it's like you have to take a reality check, but at the same time, it's like, hey, do I just try to survive in this round, or
if you're close to streaks, you want to stay up and just burn the timeout. But if you aren't and you have time left, you have to just make a play and make something happen. And if you win that first gunfight, kind of just pull a 180 app at the end, just turn around real quick and try to make another play happen. That's really the best case scenario that you can do. I think it's a bit easier if you have the bomb planted. You can obviously like strategize a nade placement and maybe kind of work around your angles to playing the clock out. But yeah, you really do have to catch a lucky break and just have that external skill factor.
Absolutely, but getting round number 7, of course, things have changed up, 3 versus 3, and really good overall line set there from Team EnVyUs, being aware that comms building when it comes down to this A bomb site is such a crucial point to hold. And I think one thing when it comes down to A, you almost have to have a kind of like a dedicated flanker, like a submachine gun player who's kind of focusing his attention. If he can either make it through a middle map or kind of get on a full-on flank, it could definitely allow you to get that bomb down. But in comms building, it can definitely limit you from getting it down on that A site. Now focusing back toward B is the side of EnVy. 2 versus 2, Tip and Classic versus PapiWrek and SolidestWand.
Yeah, they're taking their time there. I really like how they're playing this out. Classic has SolidestWand. Am I Wand? I'm sorry, Wand. Like Wand. SolidestWand. I've never heard of that one before. That's like almost. No, this is really bad. Like an Xbox Live generated gamertag.
Could be. I mean,
it could be. Some kids do stick with that after they get that. I respect it.
That was C Anners, I think, went with his as well.
Yeah, for sure. And they burn out the clock.
Where did your gamer tag come from?
Oh man, so long story.
Long story.
You
I
ready
mean,
for
I'm
it?
down. Hey, we got the rest of the tournament to talk about this.
That's true. Okay. So my original gamer tag was Shooter McGavin because I watched Happy Gilmore, and I love the movie so much that I wanted to be Shooter McGavin. So my dad told me, "Son, Shooter McGavin is taken. You can't be Shooter McGavin." And we didn't realize that people put X's and numbers in their names and stuff like that. So he was like, "You're, I guess." Maiden, whatever it is, before pot off we were Burns. So I decided to be Shooter Burns. So that's where my name came from, and I thought it was super original and cool. And as I started, getting involved with teams, I had to pick between Shooter or Burns because it didn't fit into a 15 character limit.
Right.
So after some time, I just took out Shooter and became Burns, and that's kind of how it happened. Yeah,
I like that story. That was good. It wasn't as long as I thought it would be, but
Yeah.
still very very enticing.
I love how like individuals come up with their gamer tag. Like unless you really, unless you ask a pro how
Right.
they get it.
Gamer tag tales.
Exactly. I think it's cool. Everyone has their own story. Like I'd love to hear how Slasher got the name Slasher. Sounds a little scary. Could be a
Ashley
scary
and
story.
Slasher. Maybe watch SpongeBob one day and just like, you know what? I'm him now. I am now this person.
We were actually having this talk between a bunch of pros of who has the coolest gamer tag in the Call of Duty community.
Ooh.
I
think
picked
Classics.
Nameless.
Nameless is cool. I like Classic a lot.
Yeah.
I think Classic's pretty cool. Not just saying that because he's in this game.
I'm curious to see what the chat feels.
Yeah,
too on
chat,
this
let us
one.
know.
If the chat
What's
wants to
the,
put some stuff in here, like the coolest
gamer tag. Yeah. Coolest competitive player.
I think Crim 6 is a cool name.
I like that. I think Lando's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think Lando's pretty cool.
I like that one a lot.
Have you had that
name
one
changes.
forever?
I have not. I went through some name changes, to say the least. The Roster Mania
Oh, okay.
titles for a while.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember that. I always forget that you started that whole thing. Are you still running it? or no?
Nope. Just rocking
chilling.
Lando. I mean, there's so many guys who are following roster changes now. It's just kind of like, you know what?
Yeah.
Just kind of slide into the
I'm sure it gets
casserole.
tiring, too.
Oh, yeah, it does. And I still have TweetDeck open at all times, just because, like, based off
You're
of,
just
like...
used to it.
I do. I have, like, a full doc of every roster change that's happened this year. I just can't... I just love it. It just gets me... It's one thing that I love about the Call of Duty scene because it reminds me of, like, typical sports. As, by the way,
sure.
it's 5-3 in favor of Squadddd. But,
Yeah, we got to show them a little bit more love.
Yeah.
We got a 1 versus 2 situation going on over here.
But I know, speaking about roster changes, of course, we have talked about Team EnVyUs, this group kind of coming together. Very interesting lineup as down to the Search and Destroy and down to a very talented group currently when it comes down to this game mode. Definitely their playground at that. PapiWrek, 1 versus 2, Car 98K in hand, and of course does get the indicator the bomb is implanted on B, and we'll see how Evans are going to retake this.
Oh, somebody heard that fall.
Definitely. Oh, Ashley and Slasher backing away.
This guy's trying to phase up.
Just trying to like, I wish like the emotes were back from Infinite Warfare, and there's like the phase up sign.
Yeah.
Like, just casually after you shoot someone, like phase up.
Phase up.
Pull the phase with the hands. Oh, quick scope. Nope. I don't blame him there in that situation. If you would have missed that,
See,
that would have been unread.
that's me and Halo snipers.
Really?
Yeah, I never, I'm the guy that pulls out my pistol and kills people with a sniper.
I got you.
Oh, did he have?
Oh my God.
This is the closest one that we've seen in the entire tournament. I'm not sure if he's gonna get it or not. Oh, man.
No, that was so close.
I honestly thought he had. I think he was
That was a good like maybe 0.3.
yeah, 0.10 seconds off maybe.
0.2, 0.3 seconds away. Because Classic challenges that one, and granted, it is a little bit early. Obviously, for his opinion, it works out fine in that situation. But still, wow, just the matter of moments that do decide that
We
round.
just don't trust Classic enough. He knew when to challenge that.
Well, I'm not saying that. It's just like he happens around the corner, and it's like at least challenges us a little bit. Because imagine if the instant reaction for PapiWrek was just to shoot in that point of view, then he probably would have got it. But not hitting on Classic, but he's a fantastic gamer tag. So, we actually can take a look after this game does end. We can actually take a look at the gamer tags that players are mentioning.
Sweet,
in the
yeah,
chat.
for sure. I'm really interested to hear that because the pro talk was pretty divided on what they thought was cool and what they didn't.
I have to say, I'm a big fan of Neslo's. His last name's Olsen. They just put it in reverse. I think that's kind of cool.
I never even knew that.
Oh, well,
up
there you
until
go.
now.
You're welcome. No problem.
Pro tip of the day from
Learn
Landon.
something new every day. But, of course, looking on, 2 players have actually dropped here from Squadddd, and now it's a 1 versus 4. SolidestWand all by himself, and just like that, the boys in blue have came back from 2 rounds down and run into yet again another round 11 here, Burns.
The boys in blue never lose their composure, that's for sure.
They don't.
They just have that I don't know what it is. It's just that factor, the composure, the whatever sixth sense you want to call it, to be able to not, give up in the match. And I'm sure it gets stressful sometimes competing for, such like high level organizations. You're really living up to a standard like you really can't lose to this team. You'll be talking to your manager and like, what happened, guys?
Well, I would imagine too, especially with Huke does find one, PapiWrek and SolidestWand responding for two. Temp and Slasher now left in a position to clutch, and of course we do talk about the composure. And I know with major brands and organizations kind of coming into esports, that also adds to the facet of organizations growing, that much more pressure. I mean, you talk about sponsors that are coming in and whatnot. Definitely adds a lot to what was a different scene just only maybe a few short years ago. Has totally turned itself, and esports as a whole is growing, and it just makes me very excited about the future for the total of esports, not even just Call of Duty itself.
I agree. I think this year is going to be one of the best years for Call of Duty. And there we go. Squad closes it up.
Props.
6-5, round 11.
Wow. And that was a decent comeback that we ended up seeing. I just looked at your note. Okay, can we go to the camera really quick? I want to point out here. Can we come to the camera really fast, Joss? Listen here.
Oh boy. Here, I'll come over here.
These are Burns' notes so far.
Let's go E United, baby. Let's go E United.
There you go.
That's how passionate I am about my team.
There you go, E United
right
Twitter right here. Let's go United.
Yeah,
I respect that. I respect the notes.
Man.
My notes are a little bit different. You gotta write down the 6-5 here.
You need to put "Let's go E United" too.
Do I need to do that? Where are my notes? Oh, here are my notes. There we go. I'll write down "Let's go United." Here we go. Let's go United.
I
put "Let's go FaZe." Oh, I'm just kidding. I just had to do that just for the drama. Maybe. Or actually, wait. Who's going up against United? I think United's going up against EG.
Oh,
EG.
Man.
So we're going to be trying to get into that match as well. But of course, it is a 6-5 victory for the side of Squadd. They end up taking this one, of course, a group of search and destroy players. That was their playground, and they dominate on it. Of course, hello, everyone, and welcome back. Not supposed to go to our faces, but it's fine. Of course, loading into the gameplay. Of course, bringing you guys continued coverage here for the $10,000 second annual Memorial Tournament. Of course, loading in here between Team EnVyUs and Squadd, as Team EnVyUs ended up actually losing map number 1. That one was all Gibraltar in round 11. And keeping in mind, we didn't have a little bit of a restart when it came down to the series, as Envy will have a permanent 1-0 advantage. As you see, that the production is already out of the +1 below. Great work, guys. Great stuff.
+1.
Look at that.
What does that mean again? I'm very confused.
They're up 1-0.
Oh, okay.
Overall, because it would restart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought Squadd won the first.
You look so like confused.
I thought Squadd won the first map.
First round, you mean?
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I got. All right.
Yeah. They're up 1-0 in the series, but EnVyUs is up 1-0 in this particular map.
Now I get it.
Burns is back with us.
I'm fully in tune now, guys.
You just sound so like out of it. Whenever I said that, you're like, wait a second.
Wait, what? I'm pretty sure Squadd won the first match. This Zaptius guy has Zeus-like reflexes. Not gonna
Nameless? Ant? Zeus?
No, he can't be Zeus.
Oh, okay. Can't be nameless.
But which one is
Slasher, 1 versus 2. Not going to find anyone, as it will be a round early on for Squadd. And this is going to be continuous problems, just because of the fact that, like I said, this team constantly practicing search and destroy, as they will have about a second of grace period time to grab that defuse in. But still, props to the side of Squadd playing well.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with how these guys are playing. It just feels like kind of like what we talked about last map. Search is their stuff. They seem like they know all the ins and outs of the game already, it looks like, And we're going to be checking out Huke here, just taking his time with the FG42, getting some nice positioning down on the A-bomb site. We got PapiWrek throwing a nade down below. He's going to chase the kill and see if he can take out Temp, which he does. And he turns and burns and gets Slasher 707. I don't like the 707. Is that an area code or what?
Maybe.
I'm gonna text Slasher after this. I don't like numbers.
Oh, whoops! I accidentally pressed the thing. My bad. Oh, I pressed the other one now. Whoops. There we go.
Yeah,
707 is the area code.
Oh, nice.
For
all right, Poppy. If you
no idea. California.
Is that weird of me to say to call him Poppy like this?
Poppy. Oh, PapiWrek.
Oh, nice. He's just doing it all. He's got a turn and burn. He got first blood. He got a Molotov. I mean, Squadd.
I think
up 2-0.
I really
good.
I think they win USS Texas. I really do. Like, and that kind of scares me for the future of the tournament, just because like, not that I'm looking forward to like EnVy and LG, EnVy and E United and whatnot, but like they're gonna have quite a few of these S&D teams. This one being one. I know there's Simp Squad. There's Tupac Thug Lord's team as well. I mean, these are teams who can definitely not necessarily ruin the party, but definitely surprise a lot of people coming into this tournament just because of the fact of not necessarily having those names on a consistent basis. Just because we see all these professional teams playing at MLG tournaments on LAN and playing constant and placing high and whatnot. A lot of these S&D kids, like, this is their game mode. This is the one where they're not going to lose anytime soon. And oftentimes we see online to LAN translate in different ways as it will be yet again another round of the books. And
Squadd's just on a tear right now. PapiWrek picking up 2 kills right off the gate. And it just seems EnVyUs a little caught off guard. I think Squadd's just playing at a little faster pace, than the normal, than what they're used to.
And you don't really see USS Texas normally have, like, a bunch of swing rounds. Like, it's usually kind of one goes this way, one goes the other, kind of back and forth. But it's kind of an oddity to see 3 rounds straight.
I want to check something real quick on the side of Squadddd. Are they sniping?
No.
I think they're just playing full aggression.
Full aggression?
Yeah.
Because I know Huke, now having the FG42, was using it in one of the prior rounds. I think it was round number 1. But, yeah, looks like they're rocking the FG42s. That's really about it. Molotov to the back lines, getting some hit markers. That could be a kill, but no, it looks like Classic and Huke will successfully escape for the time being. And it's on the opposite end, a lot of pressure being focused from Onyx, and he could be focusing and kind of taking a lot of pressure off of his teammates because they're on the opposite end. They're working their way toward A. And it looks like backing up now. Kills getting ready to happen inside a middle ship. We'll see if anyone can get that first blood here shortly as both teams have everyone up, but that's about to change as Zaptius finds a huge kill onto Huke. Massive play there. He's also potentially going to find the bomb plant.
See, watching this team compared to playing or viewing Next Threat, completely bipolar of how we're spectating this. I really feel like Squadddd is playing for the first blood. They're playing for map control and then going for the plant. I felt like Next Threat was really trying to initiate things on their own without any type of map control, and it just didn't really lead things into their favor. I'm not sure if you agree with that one or not.
No, I do. I mean, it's definitely a different way to kind of play the map, and you kind of see experienced teams, not necessarily unexperienced teams, but you kind of see that differential when it comes down to strategy, certain things to challenge, and overall the execution is definitely there for the moment for the side of Squadddd, as they are technically up +1 in rounds 5-0. So not just 4-0, 5 in total. As you kind of see in the right side scorecard right now. Slasher 2 and 4. Temp after the restart yet to find a kill. Huke with 1 and Classic also with 2. Not a whole lot of positives if you're on the side of Envy. But Zaptius yet to die. He's feeling pretty confident. He's feeling great. And granted, if his team wins this round, or they'll obviously win the game, but only a little bit off of those score streaks. So things still looking bright even if this round doesn't go their way.
No, for sure. He's saying at 4-0. He's got a bomb plant, 1 defuse. He's basically doing everything and anything that he can for his team to secure the victory. And on the point of search stars, were you impressed to see with how many search and destroy stars decided to make the switch to respawn this year?
It wasn't necessarily something that I was expecting. Like, I thought that there'd be a lot of hype around World War II, but I wasn't like, oh wow, this is the time that everyone's going to come back.
Yeah.
Or kind of make their thing.
You think they got jealous of seeing their friends do good, like Felony and some other players, and they're like, I'm just tired of only making $200 a night, which is still amazing.
Oh yeah, yeah, still.
That maybe they want a little bit more, more glory, a little bit more fame.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, as far as the overall, teams kind of coming over, I think it was toward the end of Black Ops 3. I think it was Teddy Rex's team who found an organization under Merkin Clan, and that was like the first group of solid S&D stars who were like planning on kind of going to an event. I think it was UMG Orlando, and it ended up getting canceled, so they weren't able to play that tournament. But that was kind of like the first, wow, I never would have thought, it was something that registered in my mind, but never was fully there.
Yeah.
That was going to be the transition. But still, I am impressed and kind of surprised by the amount that we're seeing happen now. What about you, though?
Yeah, I think it's a good step in the community. I think of bridging the gap between. It's almost it's literally 2 different communities of the search players and the variant. But I think it's just nice to see a lot of them make the transition because obviously variant is more relevant in terms of search and destroy. So I think like I said, it's interesting to see. I think it's going to be a lot of good stuff for the younger players who are making a switch from search to variant, and maybe PapiWrek and them can make a switch too.
Definitely. If that question is it will be a 1 versus X situation. This one's done. It will be 6-1 overall, as a shot will come out here from the start of the squad. After the reset, they just came out with the fire.
6-0.
Well, 6-1 total. Yeah,
right.
technically because Envy got that free round, but still surprising result to see, as this one goes down to the books as Envy's eliminated. Wow. I'm pretty surprised to see that happen.
Me too.
Granted, I mean, this is a very talented, search and destroy team. Got to hand it to them, but in such dominant fashion, where PapiWrek, after the restart, keeping in mind, finishes off 13-3.
I mean, he was picking up 2 and 3 pieces.
He's also rocking the sniper too.
Was he?
I think he was using the sniper at least in the last map, and it wouldn't surprise me if he was using this one. So, well, I know that we talked about whether is anyone using the sniper, and they weren't.
Yeah.
But I know at least in one round he was.
On USS Texas, the last map that we just saw, I mean, the PPSH, he was dominating with it in every single type of scenario that we could have viewed him. And he was really just the X factor of not only getting like first blood, but the second and third pickup, and that just led to his team being able to do equal basic one-on-one trading, and led to the round victory and a 6-1 finish for them.
Indeed. So EnVyUs is eliminated here in round 4. Yet again, in some cases, another, by definition, upset. To the S&D community, it's just another victory. But to the entire esports community, as far as Call of Duty is considered, it will be considered one that is a very surprising result. As next threat, EnVyUs both taken out by teams such as this. Different scenarios, of course. But definitely kind of keeping that one in mind as the tournament does progress.
Will you be my lighthouse, baby? And can you shine your light on me? And can you shine your light on me? 'Cause when my love sets sail, it's always doomed to fail.